We are going to start learning about exponents. Now, you may have seen them before, right? There's a little number up at the top after a number, but we're going to make sure we understand what that actually means and how to use them. So there's a few words we need to know. So the base number is the number that's the factor. This is the number that we're going to repeat over and over. It's the big number. So make sure you color in this 4. So it's the number that's the factor. It's repeated, and we multiply. So if we have 4 to the third, that would really be 4 times 4 times 4. We would have 4 3 times. And we're multiplying. So 4 is that base number. That's the number that's repeating. Then we also have the exponent, and this tells us how many times to multiply the factor. So this 3, make sure you color that in, is telling us that we had the 4 how many times? 3 times. 4 times 4 times 4. We would do it 3 times. You might also hear them called a power. 4 to the third power is the same thing. 4 to the third, 4 to the third power is the same thing there. So let's try some of these out. So if we have 5 to the fourth, we're going to write that out. So we have the base of 5. So 5 is the number we're writing, and we're writing it 5 times. So 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. Now you have this little box over here if we need to do some work. So we write it out. Now, the biggest thing I see is people want to skip count 5, 10, 15, 20. We're not skip counting. We're not adding. That's adding. 5 more, 5 more. We are multiplying. Our numbers should be getting big fast. So we're going to connect these. 5 times 5 is 25. So I'm expecting to see our connection here. So now we're going to take 25 and we're going to times it by 5. So we're counting by 20. So now I'm doing 25 times 5. So 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. Oh, that was 5 times. So 5 times. Sorry, 25 times 5. 125. So now we have 125 and we have to times that by 5. So you can see, right, it's growing 5 times, 5 times. We're not adding, not skip counting. We are multiplying. So we have 125 and we're going to times that by 5. So if you need to do this work, make sure you're doing it with me. So 25 times 5 is 25. Or 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10, 11, 12. 5 plus 1 is 6. So this is 625. We don't have any more bases. So my final answer is 625. We're not skip counting. We are multiplying. So let's try another one here. So this time it gives us the expanded form, right? Expanded means it's pulled out. It's stretched out. So we need to write what is the base and exponent. So our number, our base is 3. Our big number is 3, right? The base is what it sits on. That's the big one. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. 3 to the 5th. So we would write out 3 5 times. Okay, so we're going to multiply. So we're connecting. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. So now we have 27 times 3. So let's go ahead and throw that in our workbox. So 3 times 7 is 21. 6, 7, 8. So here we have 81. And now we have one more. 81 times 3 is, there's 3 and 24, 243. So right, these should get big pretty fast because we're tripling it every time. It's not 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. That's 3 times 5. We have 3 to the 5th. 243. All right, our next one, we have 2. And we have that 3 times. 2 times 2 times 2. I would say this is the most missed factor base problem, an exponent. We look at that and we're like, oh, 6. It's not 2, 4, 6. Nope, we have to multiply this out. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 2 to the third is 8. not 6. It is not 6. You have to write it out. 2 times 2 times 2. So I'm expecting to see this written out and solved every time. Okay, and then finally we have 1/2. And we're going to times that 4 times. So 1/2, there's 2, 3, and 4. Now, I know we're like, oh, fractions, this is hard. Nope. Numerator times numerator. 1 times 1 is 1. Times 1 is 1. Times 1 is 1. So the numerator is 1. And the denominator, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. And 8 times 2 is 16. So this is really 1/16. So we got cut in half, cut in half, cut in half again, right? Half of half, and then half of that, and then half of that again, 1/16. So write them out, solve them out, connect and multiply every time. So which one is an exponent? So we're repeating multiplication, we're repeating timesing. So 3 times 2, that is multiplication, but it's not repeated. This is not 1. We have 3, we're multiplying, and they repeated the base, 3 and 3. So this one here is, let me use a different thing here. So this one is an example of an exponent, 3 to the third, or 3 times 3, that would end up being 3. Oh, I have yellow, we can't see that. That would end up being 3 squared. And then this one, it is repeated, but it's not multiplied. This is not an exponent number. So the only one that is this one in the middle. It repeated and it multiplied. So let's try finding a few that are equivalent to each other. So 8 times 8 times 8, so the base is 8, and they did that 3 times. This one's just 8 times 3, that's 24. 8 to the third, right? 8 times 8 times 8. Oh, those are matching each other. These are actually the same thing. And this one, 3 to the 8th would be 3 times 3 times 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the two that are the same is this one and this one. We have to be careful, just because they have the same numbers doesn't mean they are the same thing. So let's try this one. 4 times 6, that ends up being 24. 6 to the 4th, so 6, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And this one is 4. We're writing 4 6 times. 3, 4, 5, 6. And this one we have 6 and we have it 4 times. So this one and this one are matches. Okay, last one, we have 3, the base of 3, and we have it 5 times. 3 to the 5th. This one is backwards, 5 to the 3rd. These are not the same thing, right? These are opposites of each other. This one we are repeated, but we're just adding. This is not 3 to the 5th. This is 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. This is 3 times 5 is 15. This is just adding. This is skip counting. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And 3 to the 5th, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 3 to the 5th. This one and this one are the same thing. So don't get tricked by the adding. That is not a factor. This is not an exponent. This is just skip counting. And be careful, make sure the base is the same and the exponent are the same as you're looking for ones that are the same. So go ahead and make sure you just color anything in. Make sure that correct light bulb is colored in for that, which one is an exponent, and finish up those notes.